Hi, this is Lara at Elliott Wave Stock Market with a free Dow analysis for you for the New York trading session ended Tuesday 22nd of February. Well, after the end of Tuesday the 22nd of February, it's after midnight while I do this video. I have just the one wave count for you today for the Dow. I'm expecting that we've just had an end to intermediate wave C of primary wave 2 zigzag, and we may very well have had a trend change. I still want to see movement below this little pink parallel channel on the daily chart, and particularly movement below 11,736 to provide trend change confirmation. At that point, downwards movement may not just be a second wave correction within wave 5 pink, and I would not want to put the label for wave 4 pink anywhere else. So movement below this point would give us a strong indication that the Dow's had a trend change at minor, intermediate, and therefore at primary degree. That would be a strong indication that we're seeing the start of a primary third wave, which should take price to new lows for the Dow. We have a little overshoot, a tiny little overshoot for the fifth wave of the end of this big wide blue parallel channel I've kept here on the daily chart for a while now. I've drawn it first from a trend line from the high of 1, which is off to the left of the chart, to 3, and a parallel copy on the low of 2. It's pretty common for fifth waves to end with a tiny little overshoot or about the end of the upper edge of this channel. This is a nice guide to where wave 5 should end. When this channel is breached to the downside, we will have our full and final confirmation that primary 3 should be underway at that stage. There's some nice Fibonacci ratios if we do have a high here. This black wave C in its entirety, and it's 2,832 points long, is just 125 points short of 0.618, the length of A. So upwards movement fell 59 points short of my target range that I had. But we've turned around and had some pretty good strong downwards movement, so I expect it was over there, and my target was 59 points too high. Within wave 5 blue at pink degree, wave 3 pink is 26 points longer than equality with 1, wave 5 pink 45 points longer than equality with 3. It's a bit of a visual illusion, each one looks successively shorter than the other, but it's actually longer in length from its high to its low. There's a nice fourth wave overshoot of this little pink parallel channel that contains wave 5 blue, and a strong overshoot in the opposite direction of the fifth wave, which is what we should expect to see when we see an overshoot of the fourth. So our first indication that we have had a trend change is a 5 waves down on the hourly chart. We've got that. A breach on the 4 hourly chart of this upwards movement, we have that as well. The next indication would be movement below this little pink channel, then movement below here, then movement finally below the big wide blue channel, and we'd have a lot of confidence at that stage that a primary third wave should be underway. We should be seeing some fairly volatile downwards movement from the Dow. Taking you to a 4 hourly chart where we're going to look at all of this fifth wave at pink degree here. Here's the end of wave 4, and this is a 1, 2, extended third wave, fourth and fifth. Within pink wave 5, the ratios here between green waves. Green wave 3 is 8 points longer than equality in length with green 1. Green 5 has no Fibonacci ratio to either 3 or 1. Within wave 3 green here, wave 3 orange is 1 point longer than 2.618, the length of this first wave. There's a nice Fibonacci ratio there. And orange wave 5 has no Fibonacci ratio to either 1 or 3. It's pretty typical really to see a nice Fibonacci ratio or relationship of quality between 2 of the 3 actionary waves and not with the third. Within wave orange 3 here, wave 3 purple is 9 points longer than 2.618, the length of this first wave. And this fifth wave impulse here has no Fibonacci ratio to either 3 or 1. We've got a clear breach of the trend channel on the 4 hourly chart that contains this fifth wave impulse to the upside at pink degree. I've drawn this with a trend line from 1 to 3 and a parallel copy on the low of 2. Showed us quite nicely where 4 ended, an overshoot for the fifth wave, and now a breach of the channel in the opposite direction tells us the upwards trend is over and we should be in a downwards trend. We'll be looking out for a second wave correction, and it's highly likely to find resistance at the lower edge of this parallel channel, so we should keep using this one and drawing it on 4 hourly charts. Upwards movement is likely to end around about here for this correction, and then downwards movement should resume. I expect we will have further initial confirmation of a trend change if we see price move below 12,055 points, because that's the high of wave 1 green, which I wouldn't really want to put anywhere lower than this point. This is a nice impulse with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's over here. So at that point, downwards movement may not just be a fourth wave correction, and therefore the upwards movement must be over. And again, as I say before, movement below 11,736, this point here would mean that downwards movement couldn't be a second wave correction within wave 5 pink, and therefore 5 pink would have to be over. Taking you now to the hourly chart where this green 3 and 4 is this green 3 and 4 here. This is the end of green wave 3 with a nice impulse here for the fifth wave, an A triangle for B, and a slightly truncated C wave to end this fourth wave orange degree. I don't have many truncations in this wave count. This is one of the very few. Thereafter, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, our final impulse to the upside. Within green wave 5, orange wave 3 here is 5 points shorter than equality with orange 1, and this fifth wave, this final upwards movement here, is just 3 points longer than 0.382, the length of the first. Thereafter, most importantly, we can see what looks like a pretty clear 5 waves down with a 1, 2, and within 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to end an extended third wave, an ABC up for a fourth wave, and a sharp fifth wave down. Within this downwards movement, wave 3 orange has no Fibonacci ratio to wave 1 orange, that wave 5 orange is 7 points short of 6.854, the length of wave 1. That's an unusual Fibonacci ratio, but it's mathematically correct. And there is 7 points short, considering this fifth wave here is 178 points long. That's fairly close. So we should be expecting a three-wave structure to the upside, a corrective, overlapping zigzag probably upwards for a second wave correction. At this early stage of it, we should expect it's most likely to correct to the 0.618 Fibonacci ratio, about 12,302 points. It may correct all the way up to the start of wave 1 green at 12,395 points, but we should not see any more new highs for the Dow because 2 can't move beyond the start of 1. When we have a satisfactory three-wave structure complete for wave 2, we should expect further downwards movement again for the Dow, and wave 3 must take price beyond the end of wave 1, below 12,178, and comfortably below that, enough to allow room for upwards movement for a fourth wave that at that stage cannot move into wave 1 price territory. So we have a satisfactory complete wave structure at all degrees now for the Dow. It is possible, just possible, to see an alternate that may allow further upwards movement, and for that reason I'm going to wait a little bit longer, maybe another couple of days, and some of those confirmation points to be breached to the downside, and those trend channels to be breached, to provide further confidence that we have had a trend change for the Dow. That's all for me with your Dow analysis, and I hope that this helps you in your trading. If you would like daily analysis of the S&P 500, you will find it on my site.